Hey guys, in this video I'm going to be discussing the concept of power building. So first off, let's start off with what is power building. So power building, like in the sense of its description, is basically a combination of powerlifting and bodybuilding made into one word, power building. So what does this mean? So power building training combines elements of powerlifting training and bodybuilding training. So power building is essentially a method of bodybuilding. So it's not necessarily combining both sports per se, however you can do this, but it's mainly a method of bodybuilding that uses the concepts that are used within powerlifting training to improve the training system of bodybuilding, basically. So how does a power building workout work? So basically, in power building, you pick like 3 to 5 main exercises similar to powerlifting. They don't have to be the squat, bench, and dead. They can basically be any 3 to 5 big compound lifts. And your main 3 to 5 lifts should try and cover like every area of the body. So you're training, you make sure you cover everything. So the structure of a power building workout is essentially training the main lift first, and then accessory and assistance exercises thereafter. So for example, you might have an overhead press workout, and afterwards you may perform like high rep shoulder work. So basically it's just a way of laying out bodybuilding training around focus on improving main lifts. So why is this good? Quite a lot of the problems with traditional bodybuilding training that you see most guys doing in the gym nowadays, like body part splits and that, there's not enough of an emphasis on strength, and people end up just spinning the wheels all the time, doing the same movements for the same weight. Like, it's not uncommon to walk into the gym, see a guy doing the same exercise with the same weights, and then come back in a year later and the same guy's still lifting the same weight on the same exercises, because there's too much of a focus on just trying to get a pump rather than progressive overload. And for a natural bodybuilder, progressive overload is key, basically. Like guys who take extra substances, they can get away with a lot more, like just training for a pump and not really any focus on a linear progression, because that's not really essential. But for natural guys, power building is a really good method of bodybuilding, because you get like your main work in there for your main lifts and focus on a linear progression on them. But however, it offers a flexibility where you still have the ability to do isolation exercises on top of that, so you can still create an all-round like balanced physique for a bodybuilding competition. So generally, who uses power building? So quite a lot of natural bodybuilders use it. There's also like dual sport guys who do bodybuilding and powerlifting. These guys are pretty rare because it's quite hard to do both, because there is a contradiction in the training goals, really. Like, you're not going to be good at both. You're going to be, it's perfectly okay if that's what you want to do. If you want to do both, you just have to accept that you're never going to like excel at either. One of the main drawbacks of traditional bodybuilding training is the fact of like doing body part splits and having like a lower frequency of stimulation, whereas in a power building routine you can focus more on your 3 to 5 main exercises at a higher frequency. So the best like kind of training splits to use for power building is like maybe an upper lower split or a full body 3 times a week. So you're not going to be doing like a leg day, shoulders day, a bench day, that kind of thing. You're focusing mostly on the main lifts and trying to hit them at a higher frequency than in traditional bodybuilding. Using this strength element within bodybuilding and focusing on improving strength allows for a longer sustainable development within bodybuilding. Like, if you use the same isolation exercises all the time, you hit a plateau pretty quick, whereas using power building creates like allows much more loading and like much more full body development, and it gives an entire different look in regards to like the aesthetic. Like in body, like doing power building training and focusing on strength gives a much like denser look to muscle, and that'll show if you're a bodybuilder on stage. That'll show. Finally, I would like to discuss using power building training in like a health and fitness setting for like get non-competitive bodybuilders like not like guys who like just gym bodybuilders, and like even guys who like to do powerlifting but don't compete, and it's just more of like a bit of fun. Powerbuilding is a good method of resistance training just for general health and fitness purposes as well, because you've got elements of hypertrophy training in there as well as a strength training, and like both methods of training have been shown to like improve health over a long period of time. Like improved strength in the term of like powerlifting training will help like people keep mobility later into life, and also the benefits of doing hypertrophy training are also, there's lots of health benefits of hypertrophy training. Having more muscle mass basically creates a much more healthy metabolic environment within your body. Like, I'm not saying you need to take it really, really far for health reasons, but combining both within your training in a complete, multifaceted approach to provision of training for health and fitness, like a power building as your actual main gym work, is like a perfectly good idea. Like, it's a good method for that kind of thing. So personally, I would recommend a power building approach for most gym lifters. I mean, obviously, if you're a power lifter, you might have to change that slightly into powerlifting wise, or whatever you specifically train for. But for most guys going to the gym for like health, fitness, or even aesthetic purposes, power building is a quite a effective method of doing this. It's also very fun. Like, powerlifting guys, you might get sick of doing high volume on squat, bench, and dead all the time. You want to throw in more assistant stuff, and that gives you a good balanced training program like that, so you can do isolation exercises as well. And bodybuilding guys who are sick of bodybuilding guys who are just doing like pump work all the time, same isolation exercises, getting some heavy strength work in there can also be quite fun for them guys. And like for like casual lifters, making training fun is quite an important thing. Alright then guys, that's all for today. If you like this video, don't forget to like and please subscribe. Peace out.